Welcome to the Fanily! Hey guys, you have me again, and I've gotten DNA profile updates from Ancestry and 23andMe, so I thought I'd share those. And then I'm going to show you my husband's 2 DNA tests between Ancestry and 23andMe, because in my last video they were really different and a lot of people were confused or saying it's fake or whatever. I don't know what to tell you, it's up to you to use your own best judgment. All I can do is show you the comparison between the two products. Before we get started, I do want to let you know that I have affiliate links for both 23andMe and AncestryDNA, and I would so much appreciate it if you would use those if this has helped you decide on either of these tests. But up here I have an update, so let's see what I look like now. Alright, so that's pretty interesting here. I've gotten a giant portion here of North America circled, but as you can see it says 0%. That's because they found less than 1% of my DNA connected to Native Americans. And oh my goodness, to all the trolls on the last video who were like, oh, white people always want to say they're Native American or something else. No, I don't want to say it. I have somebody in my ancestry that I know a lot of stories about whose name was Hatchet Gray, and she was born on the Cherokee reservation, so of course I want to see if that's accurate. It's not about being able to say I'm Native American, it's about knowing my own family history. But as you can see, some other pieces have changed a good bit too. The Great Britain has gone down by 9%. Ireland, Scotland, and Wales has gone up to 32% from 25%. Germanic Europe was refined another percent, and where it said 6% Scandinavian before, now it's been refined specifically to Sweden, so that's really cool. Now that I know I'm 3% Swedish, I have something new to look at. I can research Swedish history specifically and maybe find more about my family story. And with the refinements, it was also decided that I am no longer part of the Iberian Peninsula, which is kind of strange because I found that specifically in my family tree. So I know I have ancestors from Spain and Portugal, it's just I guess it was so far back it doesn't matter anymore. Then Europe South and Asia South were also eliminated from my profile. And that's what I really love about these DNA tests, is that it's not, okay, well this was your results in 2016, so those are your results forever. As they get new information and new research becomes available, I'm getting updates so that I know more and more closely what I am and where I came from. Now over to 23andMe, it has also refined itself so that they're now much more closely related than they were before. So I think a large part of the discrepancy beforehand was that it was just different markers that they were using to get different information. And as new information becomes available, the two websites are slowly becoming closely related in what they're telling me, so it's not as crazy different as it was before. I think this is already updated, but it's 99.4% European, and let me clarify again for all the people angry from my last video, it's not that being 56% from the UK is boring, it's that one, I already know 99% of my UK history, I've tracked that back to William the Conqueror, and two, my dad's profile, and yes, he has been confirmed by 23andMe that he is related as my father, came back much more diverse and a lot bigger numbers in all the other categories, with also quite a few that I didn't get on mine, so that was kind of confusing and boring because his was so exciting. Anyway, so 22% French and German, 6% Scandinavian, they haven't refined that down to Swedish yet, but they do have down here that I'm 0.2% Finnish, which is kind of strange. You would think if they could pick that out, then they could pick out the Scandinavian more precisely, but 0.6% Sardinian, isn't that from The Princess Bride? 0.3% Balkan, and 12.3% broadly Northwestern European. Then there's my 0.1% Native American, 0.1% broadly East Asian and Native American. I don't know if that's the same 1% or how that works. And then I now have a 0.1% of Senegambian and Guinean. Then why do I have Madagascar? What is Madagascar highlighted for? Is that the broadly? Nope. Maybe? Okay, I see. Okay, so it counts all of Asia and Madagascar and North America as East Asian and Native American. So these must be two separate DNA markers. Again, to me, it's not about being able to say I'm Native American or I'm Asian or I'm African or whatever. It's about knowing my whole story. If anything on here promotes me to study a different history and learn about a different culture, how does that hurt anyone else? I don't know. Troll's gonna troll, hater's gonna hate. That's the the way of YouTube. But on to my husband's DNA comparison. And as you can see, he's 60% from England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe, 28% Ireland and Scotland, 11% Norway, 1% Finland, and he's got a migration story here for Central Appalachian settlers to Southwestern Virginia and Eastern Kentucky settlers. And you can click here to see all the regions tested, and the ones with no color I assume are regions that he did not show up for. And then on 23andMe, never mind the little icon here that's just to block out his name, it says he is 99.9% European, with 57.9% being from the UK and Ireland, 15.9% French and German, 5.4% Scandinavian, 0.9% Iberian, and then we've got 18.4% broadly Northwestern Europe and 1.1% broadly Southern Europe, so they couldn't quite identify it, but you can see between these two here, they've gotten it pretty close with the England and Ireland part, and they do have the Scandinavia, but it's not narrowed down to Norway and Finland precisely. I think that's because they just test their markers a little bit differently, but it's not a huge discrepancy really between the two. And I would expect as they keep updating these tests and time goes on more, that they're going to be more and more similar moving forward. Even with the updates though, and most of my family being on Ancestry.com, I still tend to prefer 23andMe, just really because it does the whole health aspect and it tests for all these different things that even if it's not a perfectly accurate test, it still tells me, hey, be aware of this, hey, talk to your doctor about that. And if you view mine, even with the previous and the updates, it really doesn't seem like they're just throwing random things in just because. I'm sure these tests aren't perfectly accurate and they're always going to be refining them and learning new things and narrowing things down, but I don't think it's a fraud. If you go back just a little bit in this video, you can see that all of my husband's DNA was right around Europe, so I don't see why they would add Native American or Sub-Saharan African into my DNA spectrum for no reason, even though it's a really tiny 0.1%, and to be fair, that's well within a margin of error. That doesn't mean they just made it up. Your DNA is your DNA, and even if they change how they understand what they're seeing, it doesn't mean that they're telling you a lie right now. But that's basically all I have to show you, so thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time, Fanily members. If you had fun watching today's video, don't forget to subscribe so that you can see more, and let us know in the comments what other toy videos you might want to see in the future. Also, don't forget to check out our other channel, The Fangirl, where we talk about all kinds of movies, TV shows, and even books and comics. But viewer discretion is advised. See you next time, Fanily members!